The Van Meter Visitor.
Daisy
Morning,
had
Daisy.
lived in Van Meter,
Good morning to
Iowa,
you,
her
too.
entire life.
Hi, Daisy.
In a town so small that everybody knew her name, and nothing ever really happened there, except for one strange week every single year, when the whole town got just a little bit quieter than usual. That week was happening right now. Daisy grew up falling asleep to her grandfather's favorite bedtime story, the one about a monster that crawled out of an old coal mine back in 1903 and terrorized the whole town for 5 nights straight. And she always laughed it off as just another small-town tall tale. But on the last night of September, alone in her farmhouse at the edge of town, Daisy noticed her old dog, Biscuit, had gone completely still, both ears locked on the back door, like he was listening to something she couldn't hear yet. What Daisy didn't know yet was that the thing standing outside her house already had a name, 100-year-old newspaper headline, and a habit of coming back. Van Meter wasn't just any small town. It sold postcards of a winged monster at the gas station, and every year, on the last weekend of September, it threw an entire festival in that monster's honor. Daisy grew up eating funnel cake under a banner shaped like bat wings, never believing a word of it. According to the old newspaper clippings her grandfather used to read out loud, back in 1903, a hardware dealer named U.G. Griffith was the first person in town to see it. A creature nearly 9 feet tall, with smooth bat wings, a beak, and a blunt horn that lit up bright enough to blind a man in the dark. The town doctor, Peter Dunn, found 3-toed footprints in the mud the next night, and a shopkeeper swore the thing hopped around like a kangaroo. Witnesses even cornered 2 of them once, one large and one small, right before both vanished down the mine shaft. Bullets didn't do a thing. After 5 terrifying nights, it crawled back down into that mine near the brickyard, and the town sealed the entrance with bricks for good. For over 100 years, that was the end of it. Until this year, a construction crew had spent the month drilling test holes out by the old brickyard for a new road. Daisy's grandfather always said the old miners believed the creature only came out because somebody dug somewhere they shouldn't have. She hadn't thought about that warning in years, not until Biscuit started sleeping by the back door instead of the foot of her bed. On the night of September 29th, the exact date the old newspapers said it all began in 1903, Daisy was washing dishes when every light in her kitchen flickered once and died, along with the rest of the street. She grabbed a flashlight and stepped onto the back porch to check the breaker box, and that's when she saw it. A single beam of bright white light cutting through the trees, steady and unmoving, like a flashlight nobody was holding. Biscuit growled low beside her leg. She told herself it was probably just the construction crew running floodlights late, and for one breath, she believed it. Then the smell hit her. It rolled in, thick and sudden, like something dead, left in the sun for a week. Biscuit bolted off the porch into the dark, barking in a way she'd never heard before. She called his name until her throat hurt, but only the wind answered. Leaving him out there wasn't an option, so she grabbed the flashlight and walked toward the fence line anyway. The beam swept past her once, then twice, and on the second pass, for 1 second, it lit up something massive crouched at the edge of the woods, folded wings on a body too tall to be a man, a beak catching the light, 2 eyes glowing red like dying coals. Then the light went out, and so did the shape. Daisy stood frozen for what felt like an hour, though it was probably seconds. When she finally moved, she found 3-toed footprints in the mud, the exact shape her grandfather used to trace on a napkin when she was little. A few yards further, shaking under the porch steps, was Biscuit. Unharmed, just terrified. Relief didn't last long, because the footprints were headed straight toward the construction site, and the drill rig the crew had left running overnight. Against every bit of good sense she had, Daisy followed the tracks. She found the rig torn apart like tinfoil, and standing over the wreckage was the same creature from the tree line, wings stretched wide enough to blot out the moon. That horn, glowing brighter than any flashlight she'd ever held. It wasn't looking at her. It was staring down into the hole the drill had cut into the earth, like it was guarding something, or warning something, or both. The horn flared once more, bright enough that she had to turn away. And when her eyes adjusted, the creature, the smell, and the silence were gone. But here's the part that never made it into the sheriff's report. The fresh footprints leading away from that rig didn't only go back down toward the mine. A second set led the opposite direction entirely, straight toward downtown, toward the very same street where U.G. Griffith first saw it standing back in 1903. Whatever crawled out of that hole over 100 years ago, those bricks never really stopped it. They just gave it somewhere to wait. By morning, the construction site looked like a tornado had hit it. But not one person was hurt, not one window in town was broken, and nobody could explain what happened. The road project got quietly canceled the following week. No reason given. Daisy never saw the creature again, but she still checks the tree line every time the power flickers. And every September, when the festival banners go up over Main Street, she wonders about one thing. In 1903, nobody got hurt. This year, nobody got hurt either. Maybe the Van Meter visitor was never trying to hurt anybody at all. Maybe it was only ever protecting whatever or whoever is still sealed up under that brickyard. Or maybe it's just waiting for the next person who digs a little too deep. So, what do you think? Was the Van Meter visitor protecting something or someone buried under that brickyard? Or was it just waiting 100 years for somebody to dig in the wrong place again? Drop your theory in the comments below. And if Daisy's night in Van Meter is exactly the kind of dread you come here for, stay close, because that little Iowa town was never the only place with something sealed up underneath it.
Subscribe for more horror content.